What's up? My name is Eric Butler. This channel is called Report and Opine. I am back, and from Gothamist, New York City Mayor Eric Adams faces thousands in fines for potential campaign finance violations. Now, is that surprising to anybody that the mayor of New York may have potentially violated campaign finance law? Absolutely not. That's par for the course. This should really be, it would be more newsworthy if Eric Adams was all on the level and was actually helping the city. That would be breaking news. But to learn that the mayor of New York, one of the, if not the most corrupt city in the entire country, violated campaign finance law, that's vanilla. Obviously he did that, right? And we saw the same thing with Mayor London Breed, because San Francisco and New York, California and New York for the most part, they walk the same line. They read from the exact same playbook. They push the same agenda at the exact same time, all the way through. From Rona, pre-Rona, post-Rona, everything. They get their orders from up on high, and I don't exactly know who they're coming from, but they answer to the same man behind the curtain. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is facing tens of thousands of dollars in fines for 3 alleged violations of campaign finance law based on issues stemming from his 2021 transition and inauguration entity, a fund that recently elected candidates used to cover expenses after they win an election and before they officially take office. So he had this transitional fund that he was abusing, and I can't believe I'm going to do this, but maybe defend him a little bit here, that this entire system, this entire bureaucracy is all set up. It's covered in red tape. So as much as I can't stand Eric Adams, and there's a laundry list of terrible things he's done, and I'm sure will continue to do, this isn't even close to the worst thing. Like, we expect this. This is exactly what politics is all about. This is what people get into politics for, is to misuse campaign finance funds. And if this was all they were doing, it wouldn't be that bad, but they constantly overstep every single boundary. So not only are they going to misuse campaign finance funds, they're going to close down your business. They're going to tell you got to wear this mask. They're going to tell you got to get the shot. They're going to overreach into everything. They're going to tax you for the air you breathe. They're going to tax you to drive your car downtown. They're going to tax you 3.5% city on top of the state and federal, and they still aren't going to pick up the trash. And the cops still aren't going to come when you call. In fact, the cops they're fleeing the New York City Police Department because they're being villainized, and they have even lowered the standard to become a cop because that's how many people are leaving. But that's a different story. Members of the city's campaign finance board have accused Adams of accepting prohibited donations, failing to respond to requests for information and documentation, and failing to close the fund once Adams became mayor in 2022. Yeah, because Eric Adams, all of these establishment Democrat politicians, left and right, Democrat, Republican, whatever, all the establishment blob hacks, they truly do believe that they are above the law. That's why they'll tell you can't have an opinion on something because you're not a doctor, you're not a scientist, but neither are you, and they're the ones telling you that you have to wear a little blue piece of paper on your face. So it's quite obvious. Anybody with 2 eyes you could have written this. Of course he was accepting prohibited donations. Look at Kickback Kathy Hochul, cutting backdoor deals with her campaign donors. Look at former New York State Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin, who was charged by the feds. And Kathy Hochul wants to pretend like she didn't know anything about that? Are we really to believe that I'm shocked my pearls are clutched? Everybody knows what these people are doing. And like I said, if it were just a little bit of this, it wouldn't be so bad. But they take every single little thing and blow it way out of proportion. So you could have just been happy with skimming off the top and insider trading and all that stuff, cutting backdoor deals, and we would have been just fine. But you had to say, I want control of everything. Now, of course, not control of your actions, but control of your thoughts. And that's why they don't care to stop the crime. That's why we see the smash and grabs, the looting, the kids who tore down the Chinese restaurant, all of that stuff, because when they're acting crazy, they realize that they are still manageable mentally. The charges were published in an advisory, and while the board didn't disclose the exact amount Adams might have to pay during their public meeting Wednesday morning, it could range between roughly $20,000 and $50,000. And that makes perfect sense because Mayor London Breed out in San Francisco paid $22,000, I believe, for some ethics violations, which of course included campaign finance violations. But that is a drop in the bucket for her because she's the highest paid mayor in the country. And she went on to pretend that she took a gift to repair her car because she just needed the money. She was strapped for cash for some reason. And I'm sure Eric Adams isn't far behind as far as being a highly paid mayor, because they're cleaning New Yorkers, they're wringing them dry, they're milking them dry. That's why you see article after article of wealthy New Yorkers flee to Florida for lower taxes. The cops are fleeing to Florida. Everybody's leaving, right? And you might be able to keep them if this is where the only problem you had. But you guys went completely overboard, as they do with every single thing. A lot of the stuff that they do actually starts with a little kernel of truth, and then they mutilate it, they bastardize it until it's unrecognizable. They do it with the language, they do it with the laws, they do it with every single thing. It starts off like, okay, there might be an argument there, you don't have to agree, but there's an argument to be had, a debate to be had, and then they just take it off the cliff into where nothing means anything, just obey every single weirdo thing that we say, even though, like clockwork, every single time, their agendas, their talking points will always conflict with another one of their talking points if followed to their logical conclusion. And that's part of the control scheme, which naturally has become a running theme of this channel. Adams' attorney, Adrian Tagani, said the campaign had refunded the donations of concern. Yeah, of course they're going to say, well, we didn't do it. Is Eric Adams really going to come out and say, yeah, I did this, here's the money? He might, just like London Breed did. And she said, yeah, well, she admitted to a couple of things, which of course means that she did a whole lot of things that she didn't admit to. But I highly doubt that Eric Adams is going to say, yes, I did this wrong and here's the money. You're going to have to chase this guy around. And I don't know who's going to do it. There's nobody on top. Kathy Hochul's not going to do it. Hochul, whatever her name is. Joe Biden's not going to do it. Who's going to do it? The AG, Letitia James, she's not going to do it. She's completely corrupt. She got Trump derangement syndrome. She's still trying to take down Trump for his tax returns and we're going to use the Billy Bush tape to get rid of him. None of this makes any sense. So I don't even know who they think is who's going to bring consequences to Mayor Eric Adams. And they go on to talk about return fund for his inauguration gala because of a surge in Rona cases, all of which was a complete scam from the beginning. Now, Bill de Blasio was obviously the one that kicked off the incredible tyranny in New York City, and Eric Adams definitely, held that torch for a long time, and he will continue. I mean, I'm sure if you even go to the New York City Health Department, they're still pushing the propaganda. They're still letting in illegals. They've changed the language with that, of course. There's no such thing as an illegal anymore. There's no such thing even as an immigrant anymore. It's just an asylum seeker. That's what Eric Adams says. These people are asylum seekers and they are here legally. That's all lies. That's all fake. You should maybe cut them some of your money to make sure that that they get the right food they need and they get the lodging that they need. And you can, sell the rest of the regular New Yorkers down the river as I'm sure you will, and that will benefit you because, of course, they're going to say, oh, well, we just need more funding. That's what every single thing boils down to. It's money and control. It's painfully obvious for anybody with two eyes, and I still to this day do not understand how there are people who don't see this. Now, you do have a bunch of people, a bunch of weirdo, people that protest everything. They don't like Eric Adams either. So people don't like the establishment hack politicians, but for completely different reasons. You got people out there, you see these videos on Instagram, shout out, I think it was Elad, who has this video of some protesters marching down New York, these radical gender ideologues, raking Eric Adams over the coals because he's not extreme enough. And meanwhile, because he sometimes he claims to be pro-cop, sometimes he claims to be, that all the cops are racist. He used to be a cop, all this stuff. None of it makes any sense. But like I said, if a little bit of campaign finance fraud were all we had to deal with, then we would be in a much better place. But it's this on top of every single other power play that they do that makes New York City just completely unlivable. But thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe.